So about a day ago, as I'm making this video, which is September 13th, a Friday, Donald Trump made the announcement not only for right now, as I'm making this video, that there's not going to be any more debates with Kamala Harris, but he also dropped a new policy. No taxes on overtime. And just like that, I'm pretty certain he's gotten the working class to his voter base. I mean, already he's already pledged two other policies in regards to removing taxes. One, no tax on tips that Kamala Harris conveniently stole, and of course, no taxes on Social Security. He may as well get the elderly vote to an extent as well. Now, but in my personal opinion, I say that no taxes on overtime hits much better because in terms of no taxes on tips, that's in terms of mainly services, restaurants, that sort of thing. I'm not saying this to degrade people in any way whatsoever, but I'm a warehouse associate, and we don't necessarily have the ability to collect tips, unfortunately. So either we have to go overtime, or in many cases, our bosses we are specific told to take overtime as a mandatory sort of activity. And that is very, very frustrating. Especially, it's frustrating with me as well because you're supposed to be getting time and a half in terms of payment. And when you try to get that amount of money into your pocket, you tend to see the number being lower than you think it should be. And guess what? That's because there is a tax on overtime. Many people in my own workplace, you have to go through overtime a whole lot just to support their families. There are people that go overtime through 50 hours, at most to 60 hours. That's literally the minimum amount that you can do in terms of working at Amazon. Normally, it's a 40-hour work week, but you can take 20 hours additional work in order for overtime pay. But of course, as I said before, it's by the fact that people are trying to go overtime in order to support their families. It's the federal government knocking, and they want a cut of that overtime pay. And basically, it's a big fuck you to everyone who collects overtime. But this is why Donald Trump is such an appeal to the working class in comparison to someone like Kamala Harris. Not only is she a copycat, as I said before, in regards to no taxes on tips. Hell, I would not be surprised if in the future, potentially even before I publish this video, that Kamala Harris actually goes so far as to steal that actual tax or that actual policy from Donald Trump. I mean, it's not the first time. After all, no, it's not only the taxes on tips that she stole, it's the childhood tax or the child tax credit that she stole from both Vance and Trump, which is very infuriating, by the way, and goes to show that she does not know what the fuck she's talking about. She has little to no appeal to the working class. Donald Trump, on the other hand, kind of actually pretty much does, and he understands that. Why do you think that whenever he goes around, he bet just get a whole lot of public support instead of having to bust people in like Kamala Harris usually does? This is a very popular thing, and again, as I said before, due to its popularity, I wouldn't be surprised that Kamala Harris would try to steal it. But nonetheless, it's something that Donald Trump has already established as part of his campaign. So, who knows? Because as I'm making this video right now, there hasn't been any talk from Kamala Harris yet. And the fact that Donald Trump made this policy or announced this policy it further shows that he's trying to get more of the working class on his side. And that's specifically important to places like the Rust Belt, where a lot of people are or in the automotive industry, in manufacturing, etc. And people have to, again, work overtime to make ends meet. And this is definitely going to be very helpful for the economy. It's going to get things moving again. It's going to further incentivize people to further produce, to work, as well as taking home much more money. That would mean that a lot of people would be able to have more purchasing power and would be able to more likely to spend money, which would definitely help soften the inevitable blow that the economy is currently facing. Because if you guys recall, back in August, we had the Kamala crash, where the stock market tanked by 1,000 points, give or take. And we have been seeing major, people would call them aftershocks in regards to the stock market and just how crappy the economy is doing that as of late. Even though that the government likes to claim that we're not in the middle of recession. Hell, even Alan Lichtman, for some goddamn reason, thinks that somehow we're not in a recession. I have no idea. I don't believe his prediction whatsoever, especially considering the fact that this is such an abnormal election compared to that of other previous elections. Aside from what happened in 2000, that's its own problem. That's its own fuck up. But nonetheless, this policy would definitely get a lot of working class folks to vote for Donald Trump. Because, again, who doesn't like the idea of getting more money into their pocket? I sure as hell would. In fact, I would, if given the opportunity, if this goes through under Donald Trump, I would definitely be more inclined to actually earn more money by going overtime more. This would further incentivize people to actually get more money and to probably put it back into the economy. And plus, considering the fact that Donald Trump was president of the United States, and that he has not only tried, but also succeeded in trying to implement many of his own economic policies, like the tax cut sort of thing, people are more likely to trust him on that specific issue than they are with Kamala Harris. I mean, again, with the fact that CNN actually posted a poll after the presidential debate where more people were trusting in Donald Trump in regards to issues with the economy than they were with Kamala Harris. That to me was pretty funny with that change, especially pre and post debate where Donald Trump actually gained 2 points on their own poll. But again, this is something that is very popular. Many people are liking it, and I'm pretty sure that people who do not like Donald Trump, at least are not the ones, at least the ones who are not full of TDS, the ones who may actually kind of like the policies to a certain extent, would actually be more susceptible to voting for him. He's more likely to get the job done. He's more likely to implement such a policy. And they're definitely going to do that in comparison to copycat Kamala Harris. And I think that this is going to help Donald Trump big time. Or hugely, as he would say. My name is Noah Meehan, The Arc Truth. Please post your comments down below. Like this video, subscribe, and share with friends. Also, if you have any issues regarding my videos, or just how I need to improve, please post them in the comment section down below or directly message me. Thank you.